When my son said he wanted to talk, I didn't expect betrayal. I thought he'd come to share good news, maybe a promotion, maybe a pregnancy. But instead, he came to take something I spent half my life protecting. He said it with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Mom, we've been thinking, that land behind your old house would be perfect for our dream home." I laughed at first. I thought he was joking. But then I saw his wife Lily, sitting beside him, legs crossed, face hard, eyes fixed on mine. And in that silence, I knew this wasn't a request. It was a demand. That piece of land wasn't just dirt and grass. It was my husband's dream before he died. We bought it when our son Daniel was just 6. My husband said, "One day we'll build something lasting here." We never got the chance. He passed before he could even lay the first brick. So I kept that land, not for money, but for memory. It was where my son learned to ride a bike, where I sat and cried the night my husband died. And now, that same child I raised there wanted to take it away, for his wife's dream home. When I told him I wasn't ready to give it up, Lily spoke for the first time. "Daniel and I are starting our lives, Mom. We deserve space. You've had your time." I stared at her. She said it so easily, as if my years of sacrifice were a chapter she could close with one sentence. Daniel added, "It's not like you're using the land. It's just sitting there, empty. We could make something beautiful." Empty. That's how they saw it, as a vacant lot, not a lifetime of memories. Over the next few weeks, they called, texted, visited. Every conversation circled back to that land. And every time I said no, Daniel grew colder. One evening, he came with papers, transfer documents. He said, "Mom, you're making this harder than it needs to be. You'll still be part of our lives." I looked at him and asked, "And when I'm gone, what then?" He didn't answer. But Lily did. Well, then the land would naturally stay in the family. Ours. That was the moment I realized they weren't just planning for their future. They were planning for mine without me in it. I didn't argue. I just smiled and said, "Give me a few days to think about it." They both left looking satisfied, thinking I was finally giving in. But those few days were not for thinking. They were for planning. That night, I drove to my lawyer, a quiet man who had handled my husband's will years ago. I told him, "I want to protect my land, but I don't want my son to feel punished. I just need peace." He nodded and helped me set up a foundation, the Herald Trust, named after my late husband. The land was transferred to the trust. Legally, I no longer owned it, but it couldn't be sold, transferred, or built on, not without the trust's approval. And the trust was built to protect widows and single mothers in need of a place to live. A week later, Daniel and Lily came back. They were all smiles. "So, did you sign it, Mom?" Lily asked. I handed them a folder. "I did," I said softly. "It's no longer mine." They hugged each other, beaming. Until Daniel opened the folder and saw the name, the Herald Trust. His smile faded. "What is this?" he asked. "It's where your father's dream will live on," I replied. "Widows and children will have homes on that land, not mansions, not dream houses, but shelter. Real dreams, not expensive ones." Lily's face twisted. "You can't be serious. You gave it away." I looked her straight in the eye and said, "No, my dear. I gave it purpose." Hay stormed out. Daniel didn't speak to me for months. The silence hurt more than any words ever could. But every time I visited the land and saw the first small shelter being built, I felt peace. A few months later, Daniel called. His voice was quiet. "Mom, I'm sorry. I forgot what that land meant to you." I smiled through tears. "I didn't protect it from you, son. I protected it for you, so that when you have children, they'll know what real legacy means. Sometimes love means saying no, even to your own child, especially when that no saves what truly matters." I don't hold anger anymore, just gratitude, that I listened to my heart before it was too late. So, to every parent watching this, don't let guilt make you give away your peace. Because love isn't about surrender, it's about wisdom. Moral of the story: sometimes love means saying no, even to your own child. Especially when that no saves what truly matters. I don't hold anger anymore, just gratitude that I listened to my heart before it was too late. So, to every parent watching this, don't let guilt make you give away your peace. Because love isn't about surrender, it's about wisdom. Family doesn't mean surrendering your legacy. True love protects, it doesn't take. Thank you for listening to my story. If this touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this.